Alrighty, so officially welcome everybody to our 12th session for Tears of the Kingdom. And in the last game, or in our last session, we were making our way into the Water Temple. And we didn't really start in at all here, not really much in the way of cutscenes or anything. So, we still have the whole thing ahead of us, but it has been the better part of 2 or 3 weeks since I've played this last. So, it might just take me a moment to to get things going here. Get on with it! I mean, Mellar, if you want to redeem the few thousand channel points, I'll totally put that in as a sound alert for you. Okay. And just a reminder to you guys that you are in charge of the amiibo support. They're only 50 channel points per redeem, so they're very, very affordable. How magnificent to think that such a structure was floating in the sky above our own Zora's domain. Link, look. That is surely the source of the sludge. I'm certain of it. We must do something about it. Hmm? That is it. Link, you see it, do you not? If we could only make use of that water. Oh, right. Okay. We were, if I'm remembering correctly, we were going to warp out because we don't have very many hearts. My banner up along the top of the screen doesn't really provide a good indication of how many hearts that I've got, but it's not much. I think there's only like maybe 9 heart containers total at the moment. We have certainly put more of an emphasis on stamina. Oh. It seems it did not work. But you saw it too, did you not? Using that mechanism did have an effect. There simply was not enough water. That sound again.
Cherished kin. This is the source of the pure waters of Zora's domain. Use your power to turn on the 4 faucets and you can collect water here. Heed my words.
It happened yet again, only this time I heard the voice loud and clear. The 4 faucets, I see. If we turn those on, we can acquire more water for the water vessels. Right. Let us get to work, Link. Together. With our powers combined, there is nothing in this world that can stop us. Sidon, I admire your enthusiasm. Oh, right. I can't even remember what junk we've picked up in the last session, but it appears we have an emitter shield. Okay, I'm just trying to remember how to get these things to move. I think one of them was down at the very least, right? Oh, right, we've got the super jump. It really doesn't provide any kind of an explanation as to why this particular island has really low gravity. It's cool, but I don't understand why. Ow. Ah, damn it. I think we need some supplies. I guess it's magic. Ooh. And it's just occurred to me that I have not updated my death tracker here. There we go. Yeah, we're gonna warp out and redeem out some of our vessels of light. How do we switch to world map? There we go. Forgive me, Link, but I cannot leave this place. Do what you must, and meanwhile I shall eagerly await your return. Need my bed, mate. Good night. Sounds good. Melar, thank you so much for joining me this evening. I hope that you have a great rest, and I hope to catch you over the weekend, hopefully on Friday, if everything goes according to plan. But, yeah, have yourself a good night. This is not the spot I thought it was. We need the lookout landing. I think by this point we probably could really stand to have some improved armor as well, which means that we need to do some of the Great Fairies side quests. What the hell? Oh, it's over here. Yeah, so that puts me at a solid 10 heart containers at the moment. I know you guys can't see because of the banner across the top of the screen. That is one of those things I'm hoping to get cleared up. It probably wouldn't take a lot of work to do it, but the problem is if I'm honest, I seem to lack the vision for what I actually want for overlays and information for you guys. What kind of overhauls I need to make in order to make it pretty, as it were. Okay.
Oh.
Link, at last, I have been waiting for you. Come now, let us be off. I love how it was just night where I was at. And now it is day again. Really, though, I would love to know how we're supposed to,
Leave it to me.
I know I had once figured out how to get these things to move, but I just seem to be at a complete and total loss as to how. I really can't remember. Oh, hang on a second. This is probably really not the way we're supposed to be doing this, but, you know, if it works. Looks like we have a more direct way of doing this if we go over here. Woo! Man, I thought that would work. Well, in any case, that worked. I have no idea if there's a more legitimate way that you're supposed to get up this way, but if it works, it works. And we got a nice little stash of arrows. Can't carry any more shields. This one's only a strength of 11 as well. So sadly, it looks like we're going to have to leave that there. I am glad that in this game the dungeons are actually a little bit more thought out and well-rounded. As much as I enjoy playing Breath of the Wild, the Divine Beasts sadly were just kind of an that was a disappointment. That's the best way I can put that. It's a little bit disappointing to play the Breath of the Wild. That game, after waiting so long, I really expected there to be some really full-fledged, awesome dungeons, and felt really let down when we only received those Divine Beasts as our dungeons. And I know that was a pretty commonplace complaint amongst fans as well. From other things that I've seen, it's kind of already looking like Nintendo doesn't really have much in the way of plans to do any more Zelda games that are like Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom. But I honestly think that that's probably maybe in the franchise's best interest. Okay, could you maybe not be stupid? Thank you. Whoops. Kind of suspecting that's not going to work. Oh, right. Okay. I seem to recall now. This. How's it going, Scorns? I'm here for the Castlevania fandom campaign. Aren't we all, though? Yeah, that was something I had meant to discuss a little earlier, and I kind of skipped my mind. I was worried that that might happen. But yeah, Scorns, you're definitely right. A lot of my generalized intrigue at the moment is geared towards Castlevania. And a lot of the reason for that is because we've actually determined what the next campaign is going to be for our Dungeons & Dragons once we're finished playing my homebrew. And we pretty much have landed on playing the Curse of Strahd campaign. Which is essentially a Dungeons & Dragons themed Castlevania game. If you see Rickard and Belmont, tell them that their paintings have been lost somewhere in the Simon's dungeon. Their innocence isn't lamentable. Yeah, a lot of intrigue towards Castlevania, and it's actually pushed me towards something more than just Castlevania. I have always been kind of a big fan of Dracula. Mostly intrigued because, in part, of my father. My father is actually pretty into mysteries and gothic horrors, those sorts of things. Although he's not really into gaming. And so, we kind of looking at, well, Kyo and I, we were talking about Castlevania. We've been talking about Castlevania between ourselves and with friends who are all really feeling kind of into the Castlevania mood at the moment. And we've all pretty much decided collectively to participate in Castlevania stuff together. And this has actually pushed me to reading the original Dracula book, the original classic horror. Looking into this story has been really kind of neat because, surprisingly, and also not surprisingly, a lot of that story is the it's the origins, really, for things like mystery thrillers and things like Resident Evil are surprisingly relevant. Castlevania, obviously, but yeah, there's just a lot of pieces already, and I'm only really in chapter 4 of it, and I'm having such a good time with it. Vlad the Impaler is a mighty example, since Castlevania does have some references in regards to that history, just a smidge of history there. Link, do you see that? I am certain that this water wheel must be connected to the temple's faucets. Well, then let's get busy. Sidon, where are you? You were just talking to me. Where the hell are you? So yeah, looking into this original classic telling of Dracula, which is a published book back from 1897.
This is great. Just 3 to go.
So yeah, it's an old book, but I was surprised by just how thrilling it is. It's not hard to follow as much as I thought it would be. Kyo had kind of been warning me that it might be difficult to get into because it's written as journal entries, kind of also like Resident Evil. So the story in which it's told is not necessarily told by a single individual, but by several individuals with their separate journal entries. And I believe I'm just about to finish the first series of them. I might be wrong, but based on how things have been going with this, with the writing on this, this first guy is kind of talking like he knows he's gonna die soon, and it's only chapter 4 of like 27. So unless it's faking me out, which is entirely possible, but a lot has already happened, and we're only 4 chapters in. So I'm kind of inclined to believe that this is going to be told from the perspective of multiple people, not just one, which is pretty cool if you ask me. But yeah, it was talking about this guy. He's a solicitor. His job is essentially like a real estate agent for people essentially for hire, and he has acquired property in London for Count Dracula, knowing nothing about this man. Out all the way in Romania, comes out to meet Dracula, and has no idea that essentially he's not going to be leaving that castle until he gets in. And after a couple days stay, begins to realize that he's a prisoner. He's locked in. And Dracula essentially just keeps him there as a guest, you know, treats him with respect. But he finds that more and more of the castle gets locked off, and that he can't leave, despite the fact that it was made to sound like he could leave whenever he wanted to, but became very evident that he actually couldn't. J-Lark, how's it going? Welcome in. How are you doing today, bro-in-law? I'm actually talking about Dracula, the classic story. I don't know if you caught that part of the conversation or not. Might do a video segment about Castlevania myself, maybe dissect the lore in segments. I think knowing how big of a fan I am since I played Rondo of Blood aeons ago would be a fun time to really interpret my own analysis. That would be pretty cool. Do a deep dive on Castlevania. Mostly, I'm interested in trying to differentiate between what is actually like legitimately Dracula canon versus what is Castlevania. Because surely the writers at Konami have had their own influence to add in, no doubt. Hey, Kyo. How's it going? Love you. Stoker's impression of American accent is hilarious. It is pretty good, isn't it? The readings. So I'm listening to an audiobook, and so it's got voice actors who are doing it, and I mean it seems to do a pretty good job. So I certainly have no complaints with how it's done. You've read the classics. That is awesome. I'm not terribly surprised, but it is definitely awesome to have that reference point. So yeah, I'm only really just a few chapters in. Have quite a ways still to go before I'm have much to discuss on the matter, but definitely an intrigue for me. I don't know where this is supposed to take us. Kind of getting the feeling like this wasn't supposed to take me anywhere. Oh, okay. This is supposed to act as a conductor for us. Also hilarious how many issues would have been solved if they just involved women in their plans, discussing instead of not wanting to upset the poor delicate flowers. Like I said, I'm not very far in just yet. Chapter 4, I'm still dealing with the first account, and I can't remember the guy's name. But, oh, right, we need a new weapon. Thanks for posting the Discord link, Scorns.
Well done, Link. Now you just need to open the remaining two.
Making progress. Making progress. J-Lark, you were live earlier today, or was that yesterday? I'm losing track of timestamps. I'm pretty sure I saw that you were live this morning. Working on your comics this morning. Okay. Yeah, I wasn't, my mornings just feel kind of a little disorienting sometimes. I'm not a morning person, but I force myself into a morning person routine for the sake of some sanity with the scheduling and just taking care of the family. You know, you do what you gotta do. I've never really handled early mornings particularly well, but lately, this last, like, couple of weeks has been especially hard, and I'm not entirely sure why. Okay, do I have anything that acts as better armor than what I'm currently wearing? The answer is no. Except for this. Can use this. Jiminy. Okay. Holy smokes. The other one is shooting some mean stuff at us. Oh! firstborn turned into a morning person. I don't know. It's just I've never been much of a morning person. In DLC, he goes through some rounds where sometimes he is and sometimes he's not. Mostly on the weekends, he likes to get up usually sometime about 7:30 or 8. Sometimes earlier. But I think if I had it my way, I'd probably be more inclined to sleep in until about at least 8:30. But alas, it is not always about us. After hearing Tragic Prince, I can now see the similarities in tone. I think while the PS1 sounds extravagant, I now say that it does throw me off just a smidge. But no, it's still average track, more or less. Yeah, the Tragic Prince track, it's yeah, it kind of, I think it does actually require a little bit more of a trained ear as like somebody who actually plays an instrument, because I don't like to dog on the track because, like I said, I do kind of really like the track. The composition in it is actually really good. It is a really good track, but my goodness, the atrocity of the of the thing, the recording of it is awful. And you know, I only tried to see if I could figure out who the guitarist was, mostly off of like if I wonder if this is like sourced at all, if it could just tell me who the guitarist is. And really no surprise that when it linked to them, the first thing that it came up with was their post saying that it still serves as a reminder to some lazy song playing, and that they just really wish they could go back, retune their guitar, go back and do it again. Yeah, you know, and I was able to, I'm honestly a little sad that I was able to pick it up, pick it out by ear, and then not only play it, but play it almost better than how the recording for it was in a video game. That to me is a little bit sad. Lost Painting, however, this track is phenomenal. Embodiment of the game's atmosphere, soundscapes, something else for a game that was made in the late 90s. It's like, it just gives you immediate nostalgia to listen to the Lost Painting track. Like, I can't tell you why or how or why or what, how, or why. But in any case, yeah, for some reason, when you hear Lost Painting, it just, like, instantly fills you with nostalgia. Can't stay long, gotta go to dinner. Enjoy your stream. Sounds good. Thanks for stopping in, Lark. We will chat with you on the Discord server and around for sure. Have a good night, bro. My soul has died. I lost my Dark Souls 3 character. No! Level 200, new game plus 3. I almost had everything I needed to achieve, to get the last achievements. My other game save is at level 25. That would make me very upset. Juju, I'm so sorry that you're having to deal with the loss of your character. That's pretty grievous. I'm assuming that you play on PC then? Is that right? Yeah, PC. See, and that's one of those things that thankfully, because I play on PlayStation, all of my stuff is backed up to a save cloud. So I don't really have to worry too much about losing my important data. But that's devastating. we just hit it through here, maybe? We need to open this door somehow. Oh, okay. I get it. Buddy that I played with was a good meat shield tank. Got his account banned. I'm terrible at fighting the DLC's bosses single player. That's rough. Yeah, if I was on PC, you know, I'd be happy to try and assist you with that, but I haven't even played Dark Souls, and I have it for PlayStation 4, which does not really help your cause very much, so... You know, I'm actually really enjoying this this track from the Water Temple here. Seems like it's a pretty good one. So is it just that your save file managed to corrupt, or what? So I lost my entire save file for Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion. Probably spent over 400 hours alone. Had it maxed out, everything. Popped it in the following day. My data was corrupted, so my journey fell apart. Never lost hope, aside because I had compassionate RPG like Elder Scrolls. Elder Scrolls RPGs are... they're phenomenal. They are really. I still would love to get around to doing Morrowind one day. With the way that the backlog keeps piling up, though, I just don't know. I don't know if it's ever actually going to happen. I've just kind of accepted at this point that I own games I'm probably never going to get to play in this lifetime. Which is kind of tragic, but, you know, it's also the realistic approach about it. Because there's always going to be something new I'm going to want to play. Something that I'm willing to drop everything else to play. That's always going to be the case. However, you know, I obviously can't keep up with all these releases. And also, you know, work off the backlog simultaneously. It's a chore. It really is. And I've got so many other things that I want to do, you know, such as playing guitar, running Dungeons and Dragons for family. It's all too much to try and do. So the backlog really it does continue to grow, unfortunately. I sure hope that lands about where I need it. That'll do. Perfect. Ad break. And scene. Sidon, get your butt down here. Thank you for the hydrate and that posture check. Appreciate it. Recently, I've spent either watching old anime I need to watch, or playing some games, or not messing with any new games or anime. This is a solid year's backlog, exactly. Just one more. One more, and we will officially be done with the water temple. If I'm remembering correctly, it is down. Yeah, I've got a list of anime that I'm wanting to watch as well. One of them that we are actually currently watching is that Delicious in Dungeon. And it's got Kyo feeling a little inspired. She's wanting to make some of the Dungeons and Dragons themed food from the cookbook that we've got. So for anyone not familiar with Delicious in Dungeon, basically the premise is that these people living in a fantasy world, their ultimate objective, they are trying to save this the main character's sister from the belly of a red dragon. So that's kind of their ultimate thing. But they're trying to stay in the dungeon as long as they can, and they're learning how to survive off of the contents of the dungeon instead of having to rely on rations, which means eating monsters and coming up with some of the most ridiculous possible ways to cook monsters. And it turns out that there's like this dwarf character. I think his name is Senshi. And Senshi just lives in the dungeon, and they run into Senshi, and he's like providing all these instructions and everything on how to cook in the dungeon. It's really quite a funny show. I was watching that while I was wrapping up my platinum out of God of War 2018. So yeah, if anybody's looking for something that's a funny anime that won't really take up too much of their time, try out Delicious in Dungeon, because it's a pretty good one. It's got a lot of humor in it, which definitely like. Oh, you got a notification? Yep. I got the platinum out of God of War 2018. We are also concluding our watch session for The Bad Batch, Star Wars The Bad Batch. And what's cool about The Bad Batch is that the story in it actually tells how the Empire goes about decommissioning clones after the Clone Wars, and the hardship that the clones are put under after all of that. So literally after all of their years and years of service to the Empire, how they are essentially disrespected and treated poorly for the remainder of their existence. Boy. So I've had that going on. I've also had Paper Mario, The Thousand Year Door. I picked up Paper Mario, The Thousand Year Door for my birthday. Kind of a birthday present to myself, really. And definitely does not disappoint. At first, I was trying to figure out how on earth a game like Paper Mario could possibly have so much controversy around it. And I guess really just out of my own naivety, just didn't realize that Paper Mario, a lot of the reason I think a lot of people love it is because it does surprisingly go pretty hard in its subject content, and it's the way it deals with certain things is just kind of like oh, okay, that's no, I would not have expected this out of a Paper Mario game, especially after the fact that, you know, I've played Super Paper Mario on Wii, and I've also played the Paper Mario game from the N64. So yeah, having a little bit more of this subject matter involved has been kind of like oh, okay, this is a very eye-opening experience. But at the moment, I'm kind of caught between wanting to do stuff Castlevania-related and Paper Mario, The Thousand Year Door. It is a very weird in-between to be stuck in, but I'm still enjoying it all the same. Love to see you do a Castlevania stream. You joined the Thousand Year Door hype. As a matter of fact, I did. Sidon. Where is you? Where is you at? Oh. Gall. You get your butt in here.
Okay.
There we go. Oh yeah, Juju, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to miss your comment there. Too Hot in My House decided to use some cake mix red velvet into pancakes. That sounds pretty yummy.
Okay, they're all filled up. Now we just
City of Evil by Avenged Sevenfold is now 19 years old. Is it really? I guess that sounds about right. Moment right now, it's mostly 90 degrees outside, 70 to 90% humidity. This is too hot to run my computer to play games, watching anime. I mean, sometimes you just gotta do what you gotta do, you know? And it sucks, you know, having to... It sucks having to give up something that you actually want to do because you just literally can't, for whatever reason, do the thing that you want to do. Yeah, that sucks. So, sorry that you're having to choose between anime and gaming. I know I, for one, usually prefer gaming over watching anything, but that's just me personally. Alright, found us some large zonite. Getting a lot of my backlog done. Quite a lot if I'm really enjoying. Can't wait for next seasons. What all are you watching right now? And I'd be willing to bet that Kyo would engage with you in some chatter about anime if you post some of what you're doing on the server. I've been trying to tell her to get a little bit more involved. She's a little reluctant sometimes. Okay, so then,
here goes.
pretty sure we didn't need to do that. Pretty sure we needed to do this. Saw some gameplay for Star Wars Outlaws. Hate to admit, I'm really intrigued. Open to this project. What's to hate about it?
sludge dissolved. The domain is surely safe now. Huh? Not good. This strange creature must be responsible.
What? Oh, shoot.
Get ready. Let's go, Link. Take it from here, Link.
Alrighty, let's try to take care of this Muckdrock quickly. Whoa!
That was rough. Be careful.
That just did my, like, half of my life in damage, is what it just did.
Here goes. All right, let's go.
How rude. Rude indeed. Watching it from a Black Flag I just got done this week. Over 12 anime that you're trying to watch? That's a few.
We've got to stop it. Okay, now's our chance. Good.
Okay, I seem to recall that this thing has a second phase. Whoa! Speed up. Sure, why not?
Ah, heads up. Can't take too many of those things. All right, let's go.
Not generally impressive first when the trailer dropped. The gameplay showed a while back made me appreciate it more. Now this game will be one of the many first Star Wars games to be fully open world.
The sludge is everywhere. Let's use water to clear some away.
I mean, Jedi Survivor did a pretty good job of being open worlded, sort of. Excuse me.
Be strong.
God. This bastard being rude.
Go.
Being a little bit of a bully.
Be careful. The sludge makes it hard to move. Clear the way. It's able to swim through the sludge. That's going to make it hard to catch. Okay, now's our chance.
Okay, we've only got one more, gonna need some more weapons after this. How are you supposed to get away from that?
Take too many of those. Okay.
Are you serious? Well, now we're really in trouble because we don't have, like, any arrows.
Almost done. Just finish it.
Had to refresh. Suckers had to throw me 3 ads. Lasar just playing Zelda. Oh no. Yeah, Twitch can be a little rude sometimes when it comes to the ads. So I really have to choose between having a shield and having an attack. It's kind of garbo, if I do say so myself. Will you get your ass back here, please? Side on. Dude.
Let's go.
Looks like you can do it without arrows. Beat Resident Evil 4 Remake, Leon side 100%. Got the achievement 100% on Steam. Just need to beat Ada's campaign challenge. It's pretty significant. I'm gonna get out of the way while we enjoy the cutscene. All right. First try. I mean, yeah, we really did do it first try. We need a lot of, we need to get a lot of things, I think, before we try doing any more of these dungeons, because we need health, and we need to improve our equipment by far. It's the heart of a guiding kingdom. Oh, wait. Thing I love about Nintendo is it sticks to its own things, stays out of the console wars. The thing about Nintendo, they used to boast a lot, you know, about playing with power and everything. That was back in the late 90s, or really kind of the mid 90s. And when the N64 came out, you know, it was talking some pretty tough stuff after backing its way out of its deal with CDI Phillips, I think, to make the Nintendo PlayStation. It's a long time ago. Old history. Nintendo PlayStation never saw the light of day. Didn't end up being a thing because Nintendo thought that there wasn't really as much of a marketable ability with the CDs. even though the rest of the world was literally going to CDs at the same time that they made that decision. They decided that cartridges were much more reliable, and didn't want to argue any other way. So, Philips, having this partial console concept, takes it to Sony and says, "We got screwed, but we have a patent. Do you want to invest in this?" And they say, "Yeah, let's invest in that." So that is where the PlayStation actually came from. And Nintendo really thought at first that they were, hot stuff, up until that PlayStation showed them that they really were not. And I think what ended up happening is that Nintendo's hardware really got eclipsed pretty quickly, and they realized that they got eclipsed pretty quickly. But that they didn't let that stop them from creating very successful hardware and making it work with what they've got. They're very good at making games that fit the scope of the hardware in which they have, as opposed to trying to dump all of their resources into making the most powerful of whatever they possibly can. They look for accessibility, playability, all these other things that sometimes get left out between Xbox and PlayStation. And they have Nintendo, they do have their personal IPs. Mario and Zelda alone are pretty large marketable empire franchises all on their own. Then you got stuff like Metroid. Zelda and Metroid on PlayStation just wouldn't work if consoles couldn't handle any function. I mean, I'm pretty sure that the PlayStation could handle it. It's just that Nintendo's never going to let that IP go, ever. And why should they? That's just the thing. Focus on story-based games. Have phenomenal soundtracks, stories that last hours. They do a pretty good job for what they are, definitely. And they always have. And, they definitely have their own formula for things that they do. With how unstable that the gaming industry is at the moment, a lot of companies, including Square Enix, are talking about, not being able to handle console exclusives anymore because the cost to make a AAA title is astronomical. Even if it's not necessarily a large game, it's still an astronomical cost. And in order to achieve the sales that they need in order to be profitable, means that they almost have to try and sell the game to every person who owns that specific console. So it is a lot. So looks like you guys do have an ad break, so I'll give it just a second before I pick up my thoughts here. Okay. And I think we're going to get going here. What? How's it going, Rar? Welcome in. How are you doing? You want the Wolfie. Okay. Can make that happen. I currently don't have the amiibo access, but as soon as I do, I will definitely redeem the Wolf Link amiibo for you. And that one... No, it's in front of me. Hacks. It's because we just finished the water temple. We're actually about to watch a cutscene.
Sidon, my cherished kin.
That voice again. You're the one we've been hearing this whole time?
Indeed, I am your ancestor from a time long past. I served the first king of Hyrule as a Zora warrior and a sage who, like you, could direct the flow of water. You are the pride of the Zora, your fluid, graceful movements as you fight. I would expect nothing less from my descendant. You bested the monster that sullied our domain, but it was a servant of a greater evil, the Demon King. His true purpose was to prevent you from obtaining the stone that you just found. My secret stone.
That stone that you are wearing.
Yes, and it is important you know more about the stone and the Demon King. So listen closely to what I have to say. It concerns the imprisoning war and the destiny of our people. Though we Zora live long lives, this all happened in a time ancient even to us. The kingdom of Hyrule was still in its infancy. A great evil, the Demon King, appeared. He invaded Hyrule and sought to cut the new kingdom's time short. But Rauru, the first king of Hyrule, brought me and 5 other warriors together to oppose him. To fight the Demon King, Rauru entrusted us with secret stones. Treasured artifacts that amplify the power of those who carry them. As the Sage of Water, I bore a secret stone and fought alongside my fellow sages in battle. However, the Demon King's power was overwhelming. Even my strongest defenses could not stop his ferocious attacks. In the end, our leader realized it would not be possible to defeat the Demon King outright. He chose to end the battle by sealing the Demon King away, sacrificing himself in the process.
So that was the imprisoning war.
Sometime later, another of the 6 sages, the Sage of Time, came to visit me, and the destiny of the Zora was made crystal clear.
The magic restraining the Demon King will eventually be undone. When that happens, a noble swordsman named Link will oppose him. We must help. Lend him your power. He will need the Zora's control over water.
The course of the Zora's future was clear. It would be our honor to aid in defeating the Demon King. I swear to you that, when the great evil returns, the Zora Sage of Water will awaken once more. The Zora people and their sage will fight alongside your swordsman. That is everything there is to share of the imprisoning war and of the destiny of the Zora. Zora's domain is once again safe thanks to you. However, the Demon King continues to threaten all of Hyrule. Sidon, my cherished kin, you must take up my secret stone and honor the vow I made to the Sage of Time. Fight alongside the swordsman, Link.
It's my destiny to fight by your side. I came here so that I could save Zora's domain. But it looks like all of Hyrule will need my help. I'll do all I can, just as my ancestor did. I will accept this secret stone. I am the Sage of Water. Behold, this is my new power. Here, Link. your hand. I, Sidon, the Sage of Water, swear that I will fight by your side. Please accept this. It is proof of my vow. With that ring, you will always have my power with you. We're partnered up again. Yes. All right, let's head back home.
I reckon that's probably one of the longest cutscenes in this game. That was a pretty long one. So there's actually some information that I do know about Square Enix. I know that they took like $170 million loss, but I actually did get a little bit of insight towards their business module right now with their agreement for PlayStation exclusive. I think we do have another cutscene coming up here in just like a minute. So I'll get to that in just another second.
Oh!
Whoa!
All right. Finally back to some reading here. So, yeah. I just sent that message in for Rar. I wanted to know how you're doing this evening. Link, welcome back. Link, have you seen? The sludge has vanished without a trace. Link, thanks to your courage, the inhabitants of Zora's domain are safe once again. No words could express the depths of my gratitude. Thank you, hero. From the bottom of my heart, I thank you. I have no idea if that's the same voice acting I did before, but it is what it is. You doing okay? How's Mr. Sarge? I'm not too bad. I wish I was a little less busy, but you know, life is what it is. You know, just mostly work and getting some gaming in, and also some guitar work. So that has pretty much been the extent of what I've been doing. So earlier this last month, I didn't know if I told you, I found the screenshot of me playing War Thunder, the Cloudits shaped male privates on a live match. They thanked me and created it, but I did not get a reward for finding that bug in the game. They're very embarrassed. Oh, really? I didn't know that you'd found a bug. That is pretty neat, though, that you were able to help test it or get a problem fixed for them. I haven't really encountered too many bugs that I've been able to report before on anything. Nothing that hasn't already been pointed out. But that was pretty neat, though, that you were able to come across that. As for you, Sidon, though Link certainly played a key role, your efforts to save the domain were nothing short of magnificent. I have always believed in you, Sidon. Now you have unequivocally proven your worthiness to bear the crown. That is why I shall joyously take this opportunity to pass the throne to you. Father, this is so sudden. No, it only seems that way. In truth, it has been heavy on my mind for some time. Sidon, my son, it is time to ascend to the throne as the new king. Take Yona's hand, and as one, lead Zora's domain to a brighter tomorrow. Me? The king? I know it makes a lot of the fandom really mad that it's Sidon and Yona, but she is adorable. Thank you, Father. I will not let you down, I swear it. That is the spirit, my boy. Now, accept your place upon the throne. The finest swordsman in all Hyrule shall bear witness to this momentous occasion. Silence, everyone. I hereby inherit this crown from my father, the exalted Dorephan. From this moment on, I shall be king of the Zora. At this same precious moment, I ask that you also open your hearts to your new queen, my beloved Yona. Yay!
Sure.
The sludge threatens us no more. We are once again free to swim through crystal waters beneath azure skies without fear. We could not have achieved this without our dear King Sidon, our heroic Sir Link, and all of us who call the domain home. I am so proud and so very grateful to count myself among the Zora of the domain. However, that does not mean that all matters have been resolved. Right you are, my love. So long as darkness lurks in the depths of Hyrule, this peace we have fought so hard for could vanish like a bubble on a needle. We shall not allow that. It is now time for the Zora to help Link prevail. Everyone, I ask that you lend him your strength. Doing just that shall be the first task that I and my partner in life and in leadership shall undertake as your king and queen. Sergeant Yona collab win? I just said she's adorable, you know, that doesn't necessarily mean anything. I just think that they're a cute couple, that's all I'm saying. First things first, my friend, regarding the whereabouts of Princess Zelda. When I obtained the secret stone, we saw a vision of that woman, the Sage of Time. The resemblance was uncanny, and she also knew your name. Could that have been the real Princess Zelda? If by some strange occurrence that is so, that would mean she has journeyed to the bygone era of my ancient ancestor. And yet Father was attacked by Princess Zelda in the here and now. It does not add up. Well, one thing we know for certain is that we need to know more. Link, as I have just ascended to the throne, I must offer my sincerest apologies for being unable to accompany you. Still, I shall continue gathering information about our lost Princess Zelda. Please promise that you shall once again grace our fair Zora's domain with your presence sooner rather than later. Whatever comes to pass, know that you and I will always be connected, by the power of a sage, no less. Vow of Sidon, Sage of Water. Okay. Now that we've got that all out of the way, we need to redeem an amiibo. Oh my goodness. Oh no. It's not letting me do it out here. There we go. Flat surface. There we are. Alright, Wolf amiibo for Rar. Get all the meat. Before I get to Yona's issue here. Oh, thank you. An amiibo of my own choice. I usually like to do the Ocarina of Time link, so I'm going to choose the Ocarina of Time link. Sarges, they have the meats! Woohoo! We got the Tunic of Time! Love to see that. Hell yeah! Thank you so much for that, Juju. That is an awesome thing to have picked up. N64 vibes. Yep, I just need a pair of pants to go along with it that are not these snow pants. Like I said, we need to be finding some extra gear as it is. So, yeah, we're getting there. We're on our way. And I got the hydrate again. Thank you for that, Scorns. Want to see Square Enix not only fully heal after expenses they've been experiencing, I just don't want them to go debunked. Not... Yeah. Other studios, most have within the last 4 to 5 years. Okay, so... Square Enix's $170 million loss, right? Here's why it's not so huge a deal, right? Okay. It's a big deal. That is a significant loss for any company. Definitely facing closures of smaller studios. For anybody that's not in the know about all of that, essentially what had happened is that Square Enix had a lot of smaller studios out with a lot of small games that were being made, and a lot of them not panning out. And so they reorganized, they restructured, and reabsorbed all of their smaller studios, and canceled a lot of the games that were not making any headway. The total loss that they sustained from all of that was $170 million, essentially in work that ultimately didn't result in any kind of a project. That really sucks. That really sucks for Square Enix. They are still, however, one of the larger named studios for video game making, and it's doubtful that this would be anything that will actually like make them disappear off the map anytime soon. Here is why Square Enix is also not particularly in trouble. So, Square Enix, their exclusive deal for some of their games, Final Fantasy XVI and Final Fantasy VII Remake Project, those are PlayStation exclusives. And here's how I understand it, and I'm gonna cite the Night Sky Prince from YouTube. If you guys know who he is or don't know who he is. If you don't know who he is, go check him out because he knows a lot about everything to do with this Square Enix studio. Has a lot of great information and insights as to like releases, projects, whatnot. So when I was watching him, he basically explained that this is the business deal that Square Enix has with Sony. Sony looks at Final Fantasy as a long-time partnership. Ever since Final Fantasy VII originally came out at the start of PlayStation, it's always felt like a match made in heaven, and Sony was looking to capitalize on that again with the 7 Remake project. So they made a deal with Square Enix. They said, okay, you, Square Enix, have voiced some concerns about the reception for your Final Fantasy VII project, your Final Fantasy VII Remake project. You say that you're worried that it might not have the kind of the impact or return that it had before. We're willing to take that gamble. So, tell us what your cost of operation is. We will give you the money, and you make the project. You make it for us as a PlayStation exclusive. Did I just lose you guys? I hope I didn't just lose you guys. That was weird. Seeing a slight disconnect on my side for a second. So anyway, Sony foots the bill entirely for all of this Final Fantasy VII Remake and Final Fantasy XVI, absorbing all of Square Enix's risk into the success of these projects. You guys are still here? Great. I had a thing on my side that said it was trying to reconnect me to my chat, and I'm like, So I just wanted to make sure. So, yeah, essentially Sony took all of Square Enix risk for the loss of any profit margins or anything. And that was essentially a green light for Square Enix to do the projects that they were less certain about. Final Fantasy XVI and the 7 Remake projects. Here's the thing. That means that with these games going out, the risk is all on Sony. And Square Enix did so with essentially they don't lose anything. They also don't gain much out of it until after the sales tip far enough that Sony makes all of its money back. So really, that is the overall risk for Square Enix. it's pretty negligible. But now we run into this other problem, right? The one that I was mentioning earlier about large project games, AAA titles. We've come now to a point in gaming where AAA titles cost so much money to make that you almost don't have enough people who own the console that are willing to buy your game that can make up your profit margins that you're hoping for. It means that really, unrealistically, you're making sales expectations for millions of players, and that's just before you start making money off of the game. You have to sell millions of copies of a game. And there are a lot of gamers out there that are just unwilling to budge with certain things. You know, they don't want to have to buy a PlayStation 5. They don't want to have to, buy something that is exclusive. And that really hurts PlayStation more than it hurts anybody else, because PlayStation has all those exclusives. When they have all of these games, they don't have enough consumers to make up for their sales that they need, essentially. And the only thing that they can resort to at that point to make up the difference is to release their exclusives to PC and or Xbox, so that others can then add to their sales numbers. So that's what they're talking about at this point. Square Enix is realizing that despite the success that is Final Fantasy VII Remake, Rebirth actually didn't sell as many copies as Remake did, as far as I know. I heard that it didn't deliver as much as they had hoped it would, as well as 16. And it just, because those two games have not had the impact that they've had, they are likely needing to look into releasing those games all on PC in order to start making the money that they were hoping to make with those games. They even had an agreement to have Rebirth 16 be on PC within the next year. Sony's court to be exporting other future projects. There isn't entirely Final Fantasy, but other IPs and popular franchises. Rebirth sold around 2 million copies. It's 1/3 less than 16, and that's kind of tragic. That's the reality, right? The reality is, if Square Enix cannot sell Final Fantasy VII Remake at a high enough profit margin that it is actually claimable as successful, what's gonna do it? They even said that they used their winning formula in order to make the most impactful game that they possibly could. I played Rebirth. I thought it was phenomenal. It was probably bigger than it needed to be, if I'm being honest. There was so much to do in that game. There's still so much for me to do in that game, and I'm just kind of at a point where I'm like, you know what? This is content I don't know if I care about. And they've put all that money and effort into it, and I'm just like, whatever. But that's the thing, Remake, however, has sold nearly 8 million as of September 2023. So there it is. The fact of the matter is, we're in this pinch. Games cost too much money to make. They're too large that your scope for what you need to sell it for either needs to increase, or we need to find potentially more consumers, which both of those suck one way or the other. And it's a bad economy all the way around. It's not just gaming that's affected right now, right? Our economy is really screwed up right now, and people cannot afford to drop money on $70, $80, $100 video games right now. It's really a lot of problems all stacked up, which is going to put the gaming industry in a squeeze. So yeah, that was a long tangent. Apologize for that. In any case, my point being, we're not really at risk of losing Square Enix, because they did make a smart decision with their deal that they made with Sony. And their losses of 170 million, they will recover from that. but the future of gaming as a whole is a little bit, it's a little scary, and I can only imagine that we're probably on the cusp of seeing some kind of a crazy restructure in the supposed console war. I don't know that console wars are going to be sustainable for much longer, is the thing. If Remake Integrate haven't sold well, Square Enix will lose all financial benefits. Their sales would go down a rabbit hole. I'm not too concerned about Square Enix losing everything, but something definitely needs to change. Hope that Jak and Daxter series comes to PC one of these days. That would be really cool. I've never had an opportunity to really poke around too much in Jak and Daxter, but I've heard a lot of good things about it. All right, time to talk to Yona. Oh, Sir Link, thank you ever so much for your noble efforts. I have been earnestly pondering what I can possibly do to thank you for saving the domain. However, Giotto found some ancient texts that mention Zora Greaves. It is said that those who wear them are gifted the power to swim in the water as they please. I am certain that such an item would be invaluable in your quest to locate Princess Zelda. I told Sidon and everyone in the domain that I hope to present this special gift to you. However, the Greaves in question have still not been located. According to the texts Giotto found, the Zora Greaves were created long ago. It seems they were offered up at the ancient Zora waterworks as a prayer for friendship between the Zora and Hylians. Upon hearing that, I desperately searched there, but I was unable to locate them. I wonder where in the waterworks the Zora Greaves were offered. That's an interesting little tidbit. Lost 2 billion one time, 7 remake and 16 almost gave them to be on the right direction. Almost put them in the right direction for sure. Thanks for reposting the Discord link. I appreciate that. Is there an emulator or official game time for what exactly? Sidon's vow has granted you the power to summon his avatar. A little disappointing we don't still have super gravity. I think we're gonna... I want to see if I can find some normal pants. Unofficial port. They're gonna do Jak and 3 in the future. You can see it on YouTube. Yeah, I can't say I know much of anything about Jak and Daxter, if I'm being completely honest. It's not not for a lack of interest, so much as a time factor. And keep in mind, I didn't have PlayStation until PlayStation 3. I played Final Fantasy 13 as my first PlayStation video game. And that wasn't even really a PlayStation exclusive, either. Oh, I didn't need to come down here. Hey, look, normal pants. Hylian trousers. Let's get these. Yes, thank you. There we go. I wonder how things are now. I'm worried about everyone back home in Laurelin Village. I keep hoping they got away from the pirates. Me too. We're so fortunate to have refuge here. I can't say the same for everyone else. The village is way out on the edge of East Necluda to the southeast. There's nowhere nearby for them to run to. Roselle's the village leader, so he'd be the first to know how things shook out back home. But we've got no way to reach him. Never thought something like this would happen in our peaceful little hometown. Are you a customer? You must have overheard the bad news. We were speaking freely because we didn't figure any customers would come by at this hour, but enough about that. I was literally standing right in front of you. I just bought something from you. I had to close up my shop in the hometown. It just wasn't possible to do business there anymore. Do you like cheese? My shipment of Hateno cheese has arrived. Hey, Hateno cheese! Look, guys, our supply of Hateno cheese has just gotten good. So, if you look up a YouTuber thing called Ghost, something he shows the alphabet letters, Jak and Daxter, it's written in English but different symbol. You can read everything on the screen. Is there a different text base in Jak and Daxter? Because I'm not too familiar with it. By the way, Doom the Dark Ages in 2025. Reaper, if you're watching this or on a VOD, rip and tear. I would doubt that he's here. It's a work night, and he's it's like 3 a.m. or 3:30 a.m. in Finland right now. Different texts read the same. Okay. All right. Arrows. I like arrows. Buy all of them? Let's do that. I think that gives me, what, 25? 25 arrows. Yeah, we all know I'm super abusive when it comes to arrows. Shout out to the Finnish peeps. Actually, guys, all this water is starting to catch up to me, so please enjoy the clip reel. I'll be back in just a couple of moments here. Alright, guys. Thank you so much for waiting. RE2 clip, yas. Clean up on aisle 666. Star Fox Adventures, man, that stream was a great time. Yeah, I've actually considered revisiting that one, because it was a lot of fun, but unfortunately is become tied to some not so great memories for Kyo and I. So there's a possibility that we'll need to do that one over, because I had to delete the entire VOD just because of the negative association that was around it. So, and what's unfortunate is that it wasn't really like there was anything that was particularly bad in the VODs themselves, but there was some stuff about the VODs that unfortunately just reminded us some not so great times in our life. So do what you gotta do. Shopkeeper or bust. I know Scorns needs that voice acting for the shopkeep for sure. Okay. Look, guys, it'd be feckin' cold out here. You pay this much. No, that's too low. Hyrulean nights, like Hyrulean days. That just reminded me, we actually still need to do, Rar's DMCA clip. It's fun to stay at the DMCA. It's fun to stay at the DMCA. We can do better than that, though. At some point, I'm gonna get, like, a whole legit recording for it for everybody to stack to. Be a super good time. I don't recognize this shrine. I'm kind of wondering if I did this one in my last playthrough. Really, I am missing a lot of shrines. I'm missing a lot of shrines. There's a ton of them out there. Thanks, OCD. Gosh, if we were trying to do a full 100% playthrough of Tears of the Kingdom on stream, it'd probably take us probably upwards of 3 or 4 years to do, with how many streams I drop and the infrequency and everything. It's just not very realistic. I'm trying my hardest not to be like super, you know, going out of my way for everything, but some of it really cannot be helped. My general rule of thumb with this playthrough is that, like, if it's in front of me and I know it's not going to take me, like, super long to get to it, I'm going to do it, but a lot of the time I just kind of have to accept that, you know, I cannot go terribly far out of my way for hardly anything. Okay, dude, let's... There we go. And down. Bonk. You got you a meatloaf, sweet potatoes, drum roll, Hawaiian butter rolls. That sounds pretty delicious. I could go for some Hawaiian butter rolls. Unfortunately, Meatloaf and we don't get along. I've never really cared for Meatloaf. Used to make me gag when I was a kid. I only have like 3 that are like definite nopes for me, and unfortunately, Meatloaf is one of them. Meatloaf, chili, and oatmeal are my big 3 no's. I definitely do not with those 3. The unfortunate thing about chili, I know I've talked about this at length before, but I'm going to say it again. The unfortunate thing to me about chili smells really, really good. Like, I really actually enjoy the smell of chili. Sometimes when people at work will do potlucks or whatnot, you know, there's a lot of chili that gets done in... Oh, shit. Unfortunately, it doesn't taste nearly as good to me as it smells. It's the spices blending in that's so exotic. It's very enticing. Oh, no, 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 no. That was not a death. It didn't say game over. It only counts in a game over. It's a death, though. Refund. It's not a death. Didn't say game over. We only do it on game over for this one. I allowed it on Spyro because it totally counted with Spyro, but this is a different story, different game. Shoot, how the friggin' hell do we get across here? Oh, there are fans. Wait! Oh. Fine. Can't do certain soups. And it's weird, you know? It's like... You know by all accounts that something should be yummy because a lot of people rave about it. A lot of people really love meatloaf. A lot of people really love chili. I mean, for anybody who's like, you heathen, how on earth could you possibly have anything negative to say about meatloaf or chili or oatmeal? I'm really just as baffled as anybody else, you know? It's like, I love food. I really love food. Real fat kid at heart. But for some damn reason, there's just a couple of these things that are just, they're really no for me. They're just really no for me, and I don't know why. Doesn't make sense to me, and I'd almost rather wish that it didn't, but it does. And that's really unfortunate. Fatty kids don't care. I love good food. I even like some amount of, like, fairly decently spicy foods too. Had to prove a point to my my father-in-law a number of years ago, because he was so sure that he was going to be able to change my mind with his award-winning chili. It's a recipe that was either his father's or his grandfather's or something that, you know, has always won in chili cook-off competitions, or does really well in chili cook-off competitions. And he says, okay, well, if this doesn't do it, then I don't think anything is. And I looked at him, grabbed a spoon, got some out, nice chunky bit, and I put it in, and I swished it around in my mouth a little bit. I said, I'm sorry. It's just a no for me. Do good chicken and potatoes in a crock pot with Italian seasoning. That does sound pretty good. If I, here's the thing, is that I'd probably do more cooking if I felt like I had to. I know that sounds really awful. I do a lot of the cleaning around here. I don't do a lot of cooking hardly at all. I can do things out of necessity, but I don't really have a lot of cooking skill. Whenever I have to make something for myself, it's not really super disappointing. It's not like a great success, but it's not like super disappointing or inedible. Where do you go, sir? My friend and I got separated. That's a ways, dude. My friend is setting up a smoke signal. I can't wait to catch up. I'm so tired, though. I can't move. Alright, bro. This is going to get interesting. We're going to need rockets, and we're also going to need some fans. Yeah, this is going to be a wild ride. First and foremost, we need to stick this thing here. And secondly, kickstart its heart. Sort of pointed in the same direction, right? That is going to be imperative that these stay more or less even with each other. Yeah. Okay. So there's that. And now we can attach these. How are we looking? Pretty symmetrical? Yeah, okay. Well. Oh shit, this isn't gonna last as long as I'd hoped it would. We need some. We really need to improve the capacity of our zonite battery. Just fly like an eagle into the future. Do 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 do. Time keeps on slipping, slipping, slipping into the future. Do 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 do. Look out for those trees. Bink. Perfect. Don't you dare, mister. Don't you dare. Don't let us get all the way out here just for you to fall off the cliff. That would be a tragedy. DMCA'd. You're here! Thanks for bringing my friend. Here's some poop for you. Totally DMCA'd. We're just going for all them DMCA strikes today. Sarge Karaoke, Bosheezy. I might be wrong, but it kind of seems like, generally speaking, Twitch has actually let up a lot on a lot of the DMCA regulations. I've been seeing a lot of streamers that are quite significantly larger than I am who get away with playing like fully copyrighted playlists of songs. I'm like, how on earth are you getting away with that? Because surely I don't know. Korok, I learned things! I learned a thing! Doesn't save on the VOD. I've been noticing that my VODs seem to disappear after a much shorter amount of time than they used to. I used to have my VODs set up that they would last for 60 days, and anymore when I go back and look at them, they're just... it's only like the last couple weeks. I don't even know if it's a 30-day policy anymore. Oh, climb up there. Link. Don't be a wuss. Alright, guys. So we got another one of these tiers, which I'll play for you guys.
King Rauru, we just received word that the last free village in the Gerudo Desert has fallen. At this rate, the Demon King's army will overwhelm us.
I understand. Our only hope is for me to defeat the Demon King.
Rauru, the Demon King. He is not someone you can stop by yourself. But you are not alone. You have the Gerudo, Goron, Zora, and Rito leaders as well as Zelda. And of course, you can count on me.
There's something I'd like to show you all. Stand with me. I need all your aid.
We all, gathered here, swear on our lives to serve Rauru, the King of Light.
Wahoo! Dwip. Oh shit, guys, it's already 7. Kyo is probably just about ready for me to wrap up since she is here. She's been taking care of DLC upstairs. So this is probably as good a place as any for us to wrap up for the evening, which kind of blows. I was enjoying myself. I thought we'd make a little bit more progress, but you know, it is what it is. But yeah. Well, I suppose I could put myself in the other gear real quick before I forget. There we go. And back to save. There we go. Perfect. Progress has been saved. Okay. Save! Alright, thanks so much for posting that Discord and YouTube links for me, Scorns. I'm just trying to take a second and see if we've got anybody that we can give a raid to. I'm sure that we do. I've seen a few of my friends that are all currently live. Okay. I'm kind of thinking we might go to Aurora Brightscale, actually, because they are currently working on Paper Mario: The Thousand-Year Door. And it's also been a minute since we've provided a raid into their chat, so let me go ahead and just get that set up real quick. We want to go raid. All right, guys. Oh, of course, there'd be an ad break right here. I'll wait until after the ad roll before I let you guys, or before I give that spiel. Scorns already knows most of what I'm going to be saying there anyway about staying hydrated and shit, but you guys get you guys have been through the rigmarole, you get it. Okay, so yeah, appreciate everybody who's dropped in tonight, even if it's just mostly been lurking. I've had a pretty good time just hanging out this evening, just, you know, doing the water temple and doing a little bit of exploration. We got some pretty sweet swag out of the 2 amiibos that we redeemed tonight, so that's always appreciated. Thank you to everybody who keeps track of the streamer, does the hydrations, the posture checks, all of that fun stuff. As far as I know, we should be all systems go for Friday, doing some more Horizon Zero Dawn. So, yeah. If anything changes on that front, I'll be sure to let you guys know through the Discord server. If anything, yeah, but with in all honesty, you know, things have been a little bit rough here at home for reasons I'm not going to go into, but they just have been. And streaming might be a little dodgy at the moment. I apologize for that, but I'm you know, trying to make up for it the best that I possibly can. But yeah, hopefully we're going to be streaming on Friday, if not yeah, Friday, if not Saturday. We'll figure it out. Live first, streaming second, exactly. So there is that. But ultimately, yeah, I just appreciate you guys coming and hanging out. I like to talk to you guys. I like to know what's going on with you guys. I like to just kind of shoot the breeze and have some laughs about some of the stuff that we're doing in our gaming. And I like talking to you guys through the Discord server. We've had a little bit of activity talking about Castlevania in there as well. Time for some Castlevania. Scorns and I are on that same wavelength. If you want to talk about some Castlevania, feel free to definitely join in the fun. Because Kyo and I are talking about rewatching the anime again for that pretty soon as well. So, in any case, yeah, we'll go ahead and give the move our party over to Aurora Bright Scales via the raid. So, yeah, I just hope that you guys have a fantastic week and that you guys will be, you know, just kind of keeping up to date with everything through the Discord server. Yeah, post your food, post your music, post your memes, post all that fun stuff. We'll chat with you guys through the Discord server until we can get live again. And until then, stay safe, stay awesome, stay hydrated. It's hot out there. Have a good evening, everybody.